Hello, welcome to the Grade 4 Math Unit 8 Measurement and Intro to Conversions Unit Guide video. My name is Stephanie Van, and I am the Elementary School Mathematics Curriculum Specialist. Today, we'll take a better look at two of our TEKs. First up is our Readiness TEK 4.8c, which is to solve problems that deal with measurements of length, intervals of time, liquid volumes, mass, and money using addition, subtraction, multiplication, or division as appropriate. And our supporting TEK is 4.8a, which is to identify relative sizes of measurement units within the customary and metric systems. Okay, let's take a look at a video on 4.8c.
All right, so I'm going to thread this. Oh, hi. I just have a shoelace here, and I was going to thread in my new shoelace into my new shoes. I'm very excited about it. And it's kind of long, but it's okay. But this reminds me, actually, of Jackson, and he was actually trying to measure the length of a rope and actually cut some rope into some pieces. Let's actually check that out first, and then I'll see if you can help me lace my shoe. All right, let's see. So Jackson has a rope that is 2 feet, 6 inches long. Now, he cuts it into 6 equal pieces. Question is, how many inches long is each piece? Well, the first thing we want to do is try to get these different units of length into 1 unit. Let's convert everything to inches. So we have 2 feet, 6 inches. So that's 2 feet, 6 inches. So we can write that down if we want to. So we want to kind of put in together 2 feet and 6 inches. So that means we want to add. Now, you might just think, here's a great wrong answer, right? 6 plus 2 is 8. But the problem there is that the units aren't the same. So we first have to convert things to be the same unit. So here's how we think about it. We think that we know that 1 foot equals 12 inches. So if 1 foot equals 12 inches, then 2 feet equals 24 inches. So let's think to ourselves, 2 feet, that's really 24 inches. 24 inches. And then we have 6 inches, which is still 6 inches. But now you see we have all the units matching up. And so I can add inches with inches. I can't add inches with feet unless I convert first. If I have 24 inches and I add 6 more inches, I have, of course, a total of 30 inches. So that's awesome. So we have 30 inches. And so now what I want to do is I want to take 30 inches and divide them into 6 equal groups, or in this case, 6 equal pieces. And so dividing into 6 equals tells me I should be dividing. So I need to consider the following riddle, which is 30 divided by 6. And so we can do that with long division. 30 divided by 6. Well, 6 goes into 35 times, because 5 times 6 is 30, and when I subtract, I get 0, and so the game is over. So that was actually really easy. Don't you love it when you can do long division and it's actually short division? Long division, short division. Stop it. All right, now, so we get the answer of 5, and that is the answer. How many inches will each piece be? The answer is 5 inches. Each of the 6 pieces will be 5 inches, because 6 times 5 is 30, which is the number of inches of rope that Jackson has. And so the answer we can see is that we have 5 inches. And how do we do it? Well, we converted 2 feet, 6 inches into inches, and we got 30 inches. And then we just divided by 6 to find out how many inches each piece of rope is, and that's how we did it. It's interesting to see that actually by converting from two different types of units all into one type of unit, we can then combine. Once we can combine, we can divide or multiply or whatever we need to do, and in fact, we're on the road to making new discoveries. Math allows us to do that. And now I'm ready to make a new discovery into my shoelace, but it is long. It's actually longer than Jackson's. In fact, I'm trying to find the end of the shoelace, and this is the problem. I can't seem to find the end of the shoelace. This is some shoelace. Could you imagine? Have fun with math. I'll see you soon.
Okay, I hope you enjoyed that video because we have one more coming up.
You know, when we're finding the length of something, it really matters what units we use. And if we change units, quite often that could be a little bit confusing, especially with the metric system where you know that by changing units, we usually have to multiply by some tens or divide by some tens. And with all those different possible unit lengths, it gets a little bit tricky to keep them all in our heads. Let's actually see a wonderful example where Julianne is actually going to provide us with a wonderful lesson through a mistake. Let's check it out for ourselves. All right, well, Julianne's desk is 12 decimeters long. Now, she says that her desk is 12 100ths meters long. The question is, what do we think about her statement? Well, let's think about it. We know that the desk is 12 decimeters long, and we want to know what does that equal in meters. So what I want to know is 12 decimeters equals how many meters? Well, there's a question. Well, there is something that we know. We know that 1 meter is actually equal to 10 decimeters. Or, said another way, 1 decimeter, in fact, is equal to 1/10 of a meter. All right, so knowing that, what do I have to figure out? If I know what 1 decimeter is as a meter, then 12, all I've got to do is multiply by 12, and I'll multiply this by 12, and I'd get the answer. So what I have to do here is I have to actually figure out what is, here's the riddle, hope you're ready for it, what is 12 times 1/10? That's what I want to find out, because that is going to be the answer. Well, one way to think about this is just thinking about what 12 times anything means. It means I just have the anything and I add it to itself 12 times. So in this case, no problem at all. All we do is we take 1/10 plus 1/10 plus 1/10 plus 1/10. Now, I'm going to write this a lot of times. In fact, I'm not even going to write them all the times because so many. And then there's the 11th one, and then there's the 12th one. So that's 12 times. So you know how to add fractions that have the same bottom. All you have to do is, in fact, add the tops. But that's really easy. It's just 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1, 12 times. And what is 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1 12 times? It's 12. So we see we get 12 divided by that common denominator we see in all 12 of these fractions, namely 10. So we see an answer of 12 tenths, and 12 tenths we can actually write as a decimal if we want to. You know how to do that, because 12 tenths is just 1 and 2/10. Basically, what I do is I just put the decimal point right between the 1 and the 2. And so, no matter how you slice it, I see that 12 times a tenth is equal to 12 tenths. Could say it that way. Or I could write this as 1 and 2/10. And that's exactly the answer we were looking for. So that's how many meters, in fact, is equal to 12 decimeters. And so you see, actually, Julianne gave a good but not correct guess, because see, she has a decimal point in the wrong spot. That's the only problem that she made here. So this is way too small, though, of an answer. But we see that we do have the digit, the 1, and the digit, the 2. But in fact, it should be 1.2, or 1 2/10 of a meter. And so what we see for the answer is a decimeter is a tenth of a meter. So 12 decimeters is 12/10 of a meter, which is 1 2/10. So the important thing to realize here is that when we have different units of measurement, even with the metric system where we have to multiply by 10 or divide by tens, the important thing is to understand the meaning of those words. If we understand what the words mean, then things will be easier to understand. Just like math, we're constantly trying to make meaning. Hope you enjoy making meaning of the mathematical things in your life, and I'll see you soon.
All right, now we are going to transition to actually practicing what we've learned. Awesome. Let's get started with the measurement word problems Nearpod lesson on TEAC 4.8C. In this activity, we will be able to practice and deepen our understanding of measurement. Let's practice. All right, author has 2 pencils. Use the ruler provided to measure the length of each pencil to the nearest unit. Then find the difference in units between the length of the 2 pencils. So let's see. Okay, here are both of the pencils. We see that here, right? One pencil, the second. Let's go back to our instructions. We're going to use the ruler provided to measure the length of each pencil to the nearest unit, right? Because it may not measure exactly, but to the nearest. Then we want to find the difference between the 2. So now that we see the 2, right? Something that Mrs. Van likes to do, I like to just kind of draw a line, right? It's not perfect, but it'll get me close. And I see that that is measuring 5 units. Now let's look at this longer pencil. I see that this pencil is measuring 9 units. Now, what is the difference between the lengths of the 2 pencils? Well, we know that anytime we see this word difference, we are being asked to subtract. And we know that I can't subtract 5 from 9, not in this situation. So we'll subtract 5 from 9 to get a difference of 4 units. Okay. Now let's show what we know in an upcoming quiz. The store has 4 gallons and 3 quarts of chocolate milk, and 1 gallon and 2 quarts of strawberry milk. What is the total number of gallons and quarts of milk that the store has? Okay, so we know that we have 4 gallons and 3 quarts of chocolate milk. I'll go ahead and change to a different color for our strawberry milk. We have 1 gallon and 2 quarts of strawberry milk. Our question is asking what is the total number of gallons and quarts of milk that the store has. Well, I know, I'll use a different color for this scenario. I know that I can add my gallons, right? And I know that 4 plus 1 equals 5. The tricky part is now converting quarts to gallons, right? Because we need to take the 3 remaining quarts of chocolate milk and the 2 remaining quarts of strawberry milk and figure out what to do, right? So if I add this 3 plus 2, I would get 5 quarts. But I know that 4 quarts equal 1 gallon. So what can I do? I can break apart, and let me erase some of what I've done. I can break apart my 5 quarts into 1 gallon and 1 quart. And I know that this 1 gallon equals 4 quarts. So here's 1 quart, 1 quart, 1 quart, right? So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 quarts here, okay? But we will convert that to 1 gallon and 1 quart. So I'll take my 5 gallons that I originally identified, 5 gallons plus 1 gallon and 1 quart. Sorry, that's a little messy. Will give me 6 gallons and 1 quart. Okay. Now let's come back to our answer choices. We have A, 3 gallons, 1 quart. B, 4 gallons, 2 quarts. C, 5 gallon, 3 quarts. Or D, 6 gallons and 1 quart, which is what we identified. Let's go to the next question. Mia had 2 $10 bills, 3 $5 bills, 5 dimes, and 7 pennies. Then she bought a pizza for $12.19. How much money did Mia have after she bought the pizza? Okay, so in this question, we need to add up all of our currency, right? Bills, coins, to find what all Mia has. Then we're going to purchase the pizza to find out how much she has left. Okay, so as a review, she has 2 $10 bills. She has 3 $5 bills. She has 5 dimes and 7 pennies, right? We know that a dime is 10 cents and a penny is 1 cent. Okay, so let's calculate the total. Well, if I know that 2 times 10 is 20, pay close attention to my place value. I know that 3 times 5 is 15. I know that 5 times 10 cents will give me 50 cents. And I know that 7 times 1 cent will give me 7 cents. And I could technically add zeros, right? Because I know that $20 is equal to $20.00. I know that $15 is equal to $15.00. So now let me find my sum. I have the 7 in the hundredths place, the 5 in the tenths place. Remember, we've learned to just bring down that decimal point. A 5 in my ones place and a 3 in my tens place. So Mia has a total of $35.57. Now, she went to go buy pizza. So I'm going to use a red color to subtract the pizza. So first I have 35. Oh, that was not pretty. 35.57. And now I'm going to subtract $12.19. Now, keep in mind, what do I do with my decimal point? I'm just going to bring that down. So I cannot take 9 from 7. So I need to regroup from the 10th place. So I know that 17 minus 9 is 8. 4 minus 1 is 3. 5 minus 2 is 3. And 3 minus 1 is 2. So how much does Mia have left? She has $23.38. Now let's go back to our question to see if that was one of our answer choices and to see if we did our calculations correctly. So we have answer choice A, $23.42, B, $23.38, C, $24.42, or D, $25.38. And we did find an answer that worked with our calculations, and that is B, $23.38. Awesome. So I am going to leave this question for you guys to do. Teachers, feel free to pause because shortly after this question, our video will end. The table shows the chores Rachel did Saturday morning and the amount of time she spent on each chore. How much time did Rachel spend doing these chores? Did she spend 2 hours, 25 minutes, 2 hours, 45 minutes, 3 hours, 25 minutes, or 3 hours, 30 minutes? Go ahead and pause the screen now and feel free to rewind to go back to the answer choices if you need to. Okay, thank you so much for joining me for today's unit guide video. Teachers, remember that you can access the Nearpod lesson in Schoology by using the access code listed here. I am so proud of the work that all of our fourth graders have done. So keep up the amazing work and feel free to reach out with any questions, comments, or concerns.